Hello everyone, this is Tina from Tia's Treasures, and today I've got an idea. I'm kind of been a little bit, I don't know, creatively stumped. I guess my creative juices have not been flowing. I've been in pain due to some knee and hip issues, and I'm just like, I really want to get in my craft room and make some Christmas cards. So I have a lot of card kits and different things that I haven't really touched. And I thought today that I would just randomly go through my binder. I have a binder full of card sketches I've just printed out here and there. And I'm just going to randomly pick 5 card sketches. And I'm going to come up with whatever stamps and or papers and or card kits work best for each card or sketch. So let's see, for sketch number 1. Oh, look, I've gone right to something that is right up my alley. I'll have no trouble with this Mojo Monday sketch here. So we're going to do that one first. And this is all, like I said, it's all random. So let's just pick a page. This one shouldn't be too hard either. This is my favorite thing, favorite things. $4.94. And, oh, come on. Just not being too random here. It's not looking random, is it? It is, trust me. Bum. Queen and Company. These are easy. So far, these are all going to be a piece of cake. If we don't find something a little bit more difficult, we will have to maybe cheat and put one back. But so far, I think we're doing good. And last, boom. What do we think? That's not too hard either. Freshly made sketches. Okie dokie. I'm almost tempted to go for 6. What do you think? Should we do 6? We'll pull out 6. We got a heart. Okay, we'll probably, I don't know if we'll cheat on that one a bit, use a heart, or possibly just substitute it for an oval or something. So there we've got 6 of them, and I'm dropping things. Put this back, and we will find some cards to make from these. So I am back with all my little card sketches and all my components to put my cards together. Now this first card sketch we're using is Freshly Made Sketches 400, and we're going to follow this pretty close. We don't follow it exact. I end up putting my blue strip underneath that square instead of on top of it, but other than that, you're going to see I do follow it kind of close, and I end up using a bow. This is the November Love from Lizi papers that I've got here for this, along with some peel-offs, and everything here is from Love from Lizi. For each of the cards that I make, I stick to the same components, either the same card kit or pretty much I don't bring in like different papers from different companies or anything. Everything pretty much works. It's not a lot of hard work to figure out which paper goes with what because they're already in a card kit. Now I do end up only making 5 cards, not the 6. That last card sketch that I picked out, the heart, I was going to do a shaker with a snowflake from Brutus Monroe, and it just time got away from me, and this video was supposed to go out a couple days ago, and I couldn't put it off any longer, so I just decided to work on the voiceover and make it 5 cards instead of 6, which works out pretty well. I think these cards are really pretty. Now, I accidentally put my pattern paper on upside down, so I cut my first card base in half, and here you see me taping that down and taping it to a new card base. And so now my Christmas time is all going the right direction. There's not a whole lot of pattern on this paper for me to mess up, but I did. And now I'm just putting some peel offs. These are really pretty, like a strawberry red sparkly peel off. And I just think they work perfectly with this card. You know, if you're going to be using Love from Lizi papers, you really should be using the Love from Lizi peel offs. She's got such wonderful colors. I mean, you could match her peel offs with almost any card. And for the background there, I've got a little blue and white polka dotted paper. And you're going to see behind that square, I've got a little blue strip of paper that's got some stars on it, which is why I kind of wanted to extend it a little bit. When I just had it peeking out from behind the square, it wasn't quite long enough to show off some of the stars. And the two stars I do have showing have like shimmer, almost like a raised glitter on them. So I really wanted at least a couple stars on there. Now I'm just going to save my little peel offs, and we are going to use some glue, and I'm going to put glue all over the back of this square. Now this is a cutest little Santa ornament on it that says Season's Greetings. So I don't really end up needing any other sentiments, but I decide, because it is a little ornament, that I'm going to put a little bow on top of it. And I think that's really going to make the card. You can see my little blue strip, which is a little bit longer than what's in the card sketch. And it's behind the square instead of on top of it. If I would have put it on top, we would have gone right over the greeting where it says Season's Greetings. Now I'm just using a little glue dot along with some liquid glue. If you've watched me at all, you know I like to use both on my bows. And I am just adding that right to the card. Now these bows came already made up, and so I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to make them into a bow. They were already a bow. And that was card number 1. Now for card number 2, I'm just folding my card base again. These are all A2 cards, side opening cards. Now this card, I am using the Stamps of Life. It is the October card kit, I believe. I had the name down, and now I can't find it on my desk. So I'm just thinking it might be called the Holiday Wishes card kit. Usually the name on the pattern paper is what it is. Now she always, Stamps of Life usually always will give you a cut apart sheet that will go with the dies that she comes out with for the month. The monthly dies match the monthly card kit. And so I end up having to, purchase everything because that's just how I am. And now I just figured with that card sketch that we had, it's got the big circle in front, and I thought using the wreath would just be perfect. The wreath is a little bit bigger than the circle on the card sketch, but these card sketches are more for inspiration. You don't have to follow them exactly. And I'm trying to pull it out here. That is Card Sketch Mojo Monday number 526. And so I die cut out my little wreath and the little bow. It saves me a whole bunch of work. I don't have to do any coloring, although you can see I have the dies. If I wanted to paper piece, I could, but I choose not to when I could do this nice and easy. And here I'm just going to take the word die, and I am going to put some adhesive backing on it. Now, once I started putting my adhesive backing on this, you can see I'm using a full sheet at first, and I don't know why I tried putting the full sheet down. Here, watch what I do. I should have just cut off like an inch or two of a strip right across that I was going to put the word die on. But no, I lined it up and then I realized, wait, I don't want to pull that whole adhesive strip down and end up with, it all over that cardstock. So I did end up having to just cut that little strip off at the top. And I cut all that out so you didn't have to watch me mess with it. And I ran it through my die cut machine. Now, I'm just going to kind of leave that there for now as I mess with my other components of my card. I am going to do two fishtails in a cranberry cardstock and a spearmint cardstock. Now this is called mint chip cardstock. This is all cardstock from the Stamps of Life. Everything I use on this card is from the Stamps of Life. So I get to my little green for the background, and I do have this cut out to the 2.5 point by 3.5 inches, just like the card sketch says. I probably could have made it a little bigger when all was said and done because the wreath is so big. And this piece, that cranberry cardstock, I do end up pulling in a longer strip because it just didn't work out. It wasn't long enough again with the wreath. And this is a punch from Stampin' Up. Now when I said I used all Stamps of Life, that didn't go to like my die cutting machine nor my little stamp, my punch there. I am just tripping over my own tongue tonight. I think it's because I was intimidated by this voiceover. It's been a bit since I put out a video, and this voiceover is like a half hour long, so I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I can only talk about these cards so much. So you can see there where I have the longer fishtail now, and I wanted it to go behind the wreath. And I'm putting the green spearmint right on top. It's still going to be short up there, just like it shows in the card sketch. And this is me just kind of figuring out where everything's going to go on the card. I swear when I was editing this video, I took the hardest way you could put a lot of these cards together, and I just made everything a little bit more complicated than it had to be. Said, when you're not feeling 100%, I don't think your brain works all that well either. At least mine doesn't. My brain doesn't work all that well when I'm healthy. So, when I'm a bit under the weather, God forbid. But how are all of you doing with your Christmas cards? I hope you're getting them done. I think I'm done with all mine as far as ones that I have to send out. I am going to keep playing and probably make some more so I can choose, my favorites to send out. But I have to address them all. I thought I had my addresses in this new little book that I started, but I'm going to have to find out where my old book is. I've got an old ratty address book that's falling apart, and I started a new one this year, and I really thought I transferred all my addresses, but I'm sure I looked at it and was like, that's going to be a problem for future Tina. Present Tina is just going to put that in the drawer and get back to it. And that's exactly what happened. So here I am, future Tina, thinking, okay, where are all my old addresses? I'm going to have to really tear some stuff apart because I haven't seen my old address book in a while. And if that doesn't work, I'll have to start making phone calls, which not really my thing, but what are you going to do? So I just love this little bow on this wreath. I think it is so adorable. And now I get to struggle with this little word die. It is so fine, which is why I used the adhesive backing. And it, the holiday wishes, I end up putting it on the card, but it's not really even. So if I had to do it over again, I think I might use some sort of, the backer, the shadow layer, so to speak. So I would have had the word die even on the card, because it does kind of dip down on the sides a bit. And these fine word dies, a lot of times when you're pulling them off of the off of the adhesive, they kind of want to stretch. And I brought in my pick so it didn't stretch too much. I didn't want to tear it. And I brought in some tweezers to help me out here. And I'm putting it right through the center of my wreath. I think I probably should have maybe put it down just a little bit when I'm looking at it now. But it's still, I do like the card. It's fun. It's not my favorite card in this batch, but I do like the colors of it. I love the greens and the reds. It's really traditional colors, along with the holly wreath. And here my little W. Is that my W? No, that's the rest of the wishes, I think. I already have the W down. Here we go. Luckily, the little dot above the I is attached, so I didn't have to go hunting down that. And we're going to attach the W here. Oh, come on. Even I get annoyed watching me mess with this. Just put it down already. Okay. Yay, it's down. And now I'm going to bring in a couple of the little gems, the little like epoxy dots. And these have some raised decoration on them. I'm going to end up using the green ones. The red ones would have looked pretty too. I just think the red ones were almost a little brighter than the cranberry color that I'm using with this card. And I'm not sure if these dots or these little epoxy dots came with this kit or not. It's definitely Stamps of Life. Chances are it came with this kit though, because I had all of them. A lot of times other kits I use them. So that is going to complete card number 2. Now I'm going to have to go back and I think stamp a sentiment and the inside of all these cards, but I will do that before I send them out. Now for card number 3, this is another Mojo Monday sketch. This one is, let me see, which one is this? Number 533. This is an easy one. Now this is from, this is this Simple Stories? No, this is Echo Park, I believe, papers that were in the Simon Says stamp Oh Holy Night card kit. And what I'm doing with this blue pattern paper you see here is it's got that giant star right there. And so because I have that strip going down, I want to end up centering that star right over the manger. I'm going to use the little cut apart that says Joy to the World, the Lord has come. And I have the star that I think would be perfect going right over the top. So you're going to see me mess with this and try to get it, in the most convoluted way possible. I end up gluing all these papers down. It's kind of quite funny. When I was watching it for my editing, I was like, what was I thinking? Why couldn't I just glue these papers down right to my card base and my main paper? Now I know why I didn't do that with the blue. I wanted to make sure it was over my manger, but with the other two pieces I end up gluing them to the back of my Joy to the my cut apart, I guess would be the best way to put it. And it's just it's almost painful to watch me do that. So I wonder if any of you guys, when you're like making your cards, just do things in a weird fashion. I watch these videos of a lot of your big YouTubers, and they don't seem to get hung up like I do. Now, mind you, I haven't been making cards as long as a lot of people, but sometimes I'm just like, well, why did I do that? And why did I do that? And I don't always think things through, and then I end up having to start over because I did something stupid. Now, in this case, I don't need to start over, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to, get everything attached. And I think I have a little white on my sides here, so I'm cutting it down a little so you're not going to see any of the other card cut apart from the sheet. And I'm just going to cut that down a little bit because I had it way too long. And here I'm kind of looking at it going, okay, I'm confusing myself, and I decide the easiest way to make sure I have the cut apart centered right where I want it is to put a little bit of glue right on the blue strip. And that's what I'm going to end up doing. Now watch me. I'm like, oh wait, what do I do? I start to glue that, and I'm like, no. And I'm still trying to, I overthink it is what I think it is. I think if I just started putting it down, but then again, when I just start putting down pieces of paper, I end up screwing up too. So there's no winning sometimes. So I've got that glued down. And you can see from the card sketch that the strip where I've got the poinsettias on is supposed to go under that blue strip or over the blue strip, and I end up keeping it under. And now here, for some reason, I glued that on the back of all that too, and I don't know why. I just didn't glue it down to my card base. So that's where I'm talking about making things a little bit more complicated than they needed to be. And now I am just going to glue everything down here, and I am going to put this on a white card base. After I get it all smoothed out, of course. Now, I had originally thought about using an embossing folder on the green background, and I think I forgot all about it. I just was in a hurry to get this card done, and the embossing folder was kind of hiding, and it wasn't until after I had everything glued down that I realized that I had wanted to use an embossing folder to try to just add a little something to this card. So I'm going to bring in my Spectrum Noir glitter pen, and I'm going to glitter up these stars a little bit. And I still think this card needs a little something. So I do end up bringing just some gems in. Now these are from my stash, so I guess I did bring a little stuff, a little something from my stash. These aren't from any card kit. I've had these for a long time. I'm not even sure where I got them. And I'm just kind of putting them on top of some of the stars on this blue pattern paper. In no particular order. And this is going to be it for card number 3. So we were really close with this card sketch. You could see that embossing folder I just kind of had off to the side. Kind of cleaning up my mess a little bit. Now for card number 4, this is from another Simon Says stamp kit. I think this was the most recent one, maybe. And this is some Simple Stories paper that was included with the kit. I don't have the name of the kit right off hand. So like I said, I had everything written out, and I just don't see it here. I'm not sure where I put my notes. Oh, wait. That was, I take that back. That was Simon Says Stamps, Season of Joy. And They're Simple Stories Holy Night paper, I believe. Or that might be the name of the card kit. I mean, I don't take very good notes, obviously. They're like all over the place and not very informative. So this card sketch is, this is my favorite things, I believe. And it is my favorite thing 494, and we follow this one pretty close. I don't follow all the dimensions exactly, but I take the little Santa and I'm going to put some ephemera that says Merry Christmas. I didn't have to color up anything because all of this ephemera came with the card kit. So it was really nice and simple. And I'm just coloring up and sparkling up Santa. And this was a really simple card. This one needs a little something, but I'm not quite sure what. Now for the last card, I'm taking a Queen and Company card sketch, and I am using an older Doodle Bug papers. It's the Doodle Bug Night Before Christmas paper, and I am just taking a piece of their cardstock, and I've got that cut to that is 5.5 by 4.25, and this I try to follow pretty close. I'm taking a little pink strip that's got faux stitching, which is why I chose this one. It's got a phrase from the night before Christmas, and I end up just cutting it down to the phrase that says sugar plums danced in their heads, because I figured that could have, it could kind of be a standalone phrase, and it's just spaced perfectly where it'll fit on the card without me having to cut like a word in half, because for whatever reason, when I was choosing this particular strip of paper, I was looking more at the faux stitching and not actually what the strip had on it, which was, a big phrase. Otherwise, I probably would have chose a different strip. And now I am also going to use a little bit of the scalloped border on the sticker sheet too, because that kind of matches the scallop on the card sketch. So you're going to see me use that after I glue this down. And I got a little ahead of myself in my description here. Just kind of trimming it down so it fits perfect. And now I'm going to trim off a piece of that scallop down there. I'm going to end up, well, my choices were between the tree and the Santa. The Santa was more square, but I thought the tree had all this faux stitching around it, so I thought that kind of kept with the theme of the card with all the faux stitching. And the thing with doing these voiceovers is sometimes I get my order of operations backwards. So here I am putting my little scallops down and button those up. I've got a little bit of a gap there, so I try to peel it off and butt it up again, because I really don't want any of the card, that blue card front showing. And now I'm just cutting it off on both sides. I don't have a complete scallop going side to side, but it works just fine. And now we're going to put our sentiment right down there. And we're going to use another sticker. We're going to use the sentiment, making spirits bright. So in a way, it says sugar plums danced in their heads, making spirits bright. So it makes sense. And I really think this card is cute, but it needs a little something. Now I think I have some Doodle Bug enamel dots somewhere, but I do end up bringing in some older Stamps of Life enamel dots, because I don't want to dig through everything to try to find my Doodle Bug ones, because I'm not even 100% sure I have them. And so after gluing this on, which it kind of fights with me just a little bit, here you see it's not cooperating, and I had to pull it away and chastise it. And now I'm just going to put a few red enamel dots on. Those are Stamps of Life enamel dots. I've got 3 left and of the red ones, so 3 is what I'm going to use. The white ones would have worked too, but I just wanted something a little bit more festive, and I like keeping them the same color. So I've just got the 3 with 2 in the upper right and 1 in the lower left. And that was card number 5. Now here are my 5 cards. You can see that they all are a little different. Actually, the closest two are the Simon Says cards right there. The other 3 look pretty different. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It helps so much. Or subscribe. Bye-bye for now.